What's going on, guys? Got another knife here for you. Today we're going to be looking at the Ramon Chavez. This is the Redencion 228. This is actually a prototype knife that my friend let me borrow. So it's featuring 3V steel. Everything else I think is the same, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it runs on bearings. This one I know runs on bearings for sure. So I'm pretty sure the 228 runs on bearings. So I think the only real difference, other than the hand tuning, is the 3V blade steel on here. Ramon Chavez, his Redencion knife, for me, when it first came out, I wasn't, to be honest, I wasn't all that jazzed about it. I didn't understand what all the hype was. I thought it looked like a crazy overbuilt Emerson CQC7, you know, with the hard. It wasn't as tanto of an edge, you know, as the CQC7, but the handle I think reminded me a lot of it, and so I just thought it's just a big blocky knife. You know, what's all the fuss about? But my friend, he's like, check out the 228. You know, I think you'll like it. So. When I got this knife, I was very pleasantly surprised. This knife, to me, honestly, this screams out to me, hard user, and it also is one of the most comfortable kind of like hard use knives that I've ever handled. This knife, obviously is meant to be a midtech knife. So this one is a custom one. However, the midtech ones I think are going to feature, different finishes on the handles, but it's going to be S35 blade steel as well. So slight difference. Again, I believe it's running on bearings and whatnot. But in terms of fit and finish, I think it's going to be about the same. One thing that stuck out to me, before I get into anything else, is just the detent on this knife. And I can't speak, I've never handled a custom Redencion or even like the production midtech 228. So I'm not sure if the detent's the same on all of them, but if it is, I mean, this is the best feeling detent I've ever handled on a thumb stud opening knife. Absolutely locks in and just snaps out like a flipper, as fast as a flipper. And yeah, you can open knives. I can open up this knife with a thumb stud, and it's just as fast. But it's got that hydraulic feel. This is running on nylon washers, Teflon washers, sorry. So definitely not as smooth, and this, obviously on bearings, but just the way the detent is set, and it just breaks. Kind of like a Mosier. I've only handled a Mosier one time, but it's got that kind of detent that, man, just snaps out, and it feels so good. And again, in hand, it's no hot spots whatsoever on this knife at all. I mean, I can squeeze as hard as I want on this knife and nothing. The jimping is crazy hard, locks your finger in really deep, and it doesn't like dig in or hurt. I don't know, like, because they're so big on here. Yeah, it's really comfortable, on the thumb. Sure, if you're like grinding down, I'm sure it's gonna wear you down a little bit, but and even the knife shape, you got a huge belly on here, a really stout, piercing edge, if you're gonna stab. This knife, I believe, is 180 thou, or gosh, it might be 200 thou. Yeah, I think it's about as thick as the quay back here, so I'm thinking it's about 200 thou or 180 thou thick. Of 3V on this one. Again, you're going to be getting a S35 if you get the midtech. So, honestly, the 228 is one of the best feeling midtechs outside of the Decepticon that I just reviewed. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't even consider that a midtech, man. That's like almost like a full custom. Just like the bodegas, they're the darn near customs, right? So he's got the cool, skull clip on here, which I used to think was kind of gimmicky or lame, but after having one, it's pretty cool. So I like having the skull clip there. But yeah, I mean, compared to the Burning Horizon, and this is not a knock on, you know, Mosier. I mean, in terms of looks, I really like the look of the Burning Horizon from Bad Blood. But in terms of fit and finish, the Redencion is hard to beat. Honestly, I think these run around $450 or so. I've seen that price on the secondary market, and so that's real. I think it's pretty reasonable for what you get. So a lot of knives now are using S35 VN. You know, Hobak's using S35. The Burning Horizon, I think, is using S35 as well. The Birch midtech is using CPM 154 though. So on the Sebenza you have S35 as well. You know, overall you can see the blade on the 228's, you know, slightly shorter than the Sebenza, running at, you know, 3¼ inch blade. So yeah, it is a smaller knife, smaller but beefier knife than all these over here as well. So super stout, super nice knife, and I would really recommend this knife if you're going for a little chunker. You know, the Redencion 228 is a good option, and I've only heard good things about Ramon and his product and the work that he puts into all his knives, and really just the pride that he has. Not, you know, not to say that the other makers don't have that, but Ramon, being a relatively new maker, has accomplished a lot in a very short amount of time. So anyway, that's a really short take of the Redencion 228. If you get a chance to get it, yeah, spring for it. So again, this one's not mine, and if I get a chance to snag one, I might. I've kind of slowed down a little bit on the whole knife collecting, so I need to move some of my knives first if I'm gonna get some other ones. But man, just see how that flips out with authority. It's pretty awesome. So alright guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Ramon Chavez, Redencion 228. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next vid. Take care. Bye.